Welcome back, guys, to another 86th Reviews review. Hope everyone had a splendid weekend. For all my Australian viewers out there, happy Australia Day. It did kind of just fly underneath my radar. Obviously, it's not a holiday here in Japan, so it was kind of easy to get stuck in work mode and kind of forget about your own country's birthday. Wow, that certainly didn't come out right. Anyway, today we are taking a look at the new Bandai Figurized Standard Dragon Ball Z Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. Woo! And if you watched my previous speed build video, you could probably guess by my excessive fist pumping that I was pretty darn excited for this figure. So I did unfortunately miss out on the figure arts version, which I hear is an amazing figure. I have watched countless reviews and seen countless pictures of the figure arts version, but I am on the hunt for one. So for everyone wanting a comparison video, it will happen. However, for collectors who were hoping for a slightly larger scale Broly, he does fall a little short, as both versions are about the same height, with the figure arts version standing just slightly taller and a little bulkier as well. Nevertheless, it is a beautiful piece with only like one or two small gripes I do have with the figure itself. Anyway, jumping straight into the packaging, I've always been a fan of the artwork we get from Figurized. It's not just existing art that they've kind of thrown together, but we do get an original piece just for the box, beautifully drawn as you can see here. Here are the sides. And here he is, guys, and damn is he one big badass of a figure when built up. As I mentioned, he does stand pretty close in height with the figure arts counterpart, so scale wise he might work a little bit better with your figure arts figures. Not to say that he doesn't look great with his with the rest of his line mates, but if you are concerned about scale, here are a couple of anime comparisons. And I guess it does really depend on you. I know with a couple of other with the other characters like Cell, there is a more significant difference in height between the figure arts and the Figurized, but I think with Broly, since he is already considerably larger than the other characters, he does fit in a little easier with both lines. Sculpt wise, I think is amazing. Sometimes the faces seem a little soft, a little off with some of the Figurized characters, and I know that can turn off some collectors, but I think they did a pretty good job with Broly here. I mean, just looking at his face, looking at that smirk, he looks absolutely evil, and I think I have to admit that I might even prefer this face over the figure arts version, even though I don't actually own it. I might change my mind once I do pick it up, but just looking at screenshots, looking at other people's reviews, and having this guy in hand, I really do like how it turned out. Broly's hair looks great from all angles. Sculpt work, again being a model kit, is very sharp, and one thing I do love is the color that they used for the mold, for the plastic. It's not just the normal gold or yellow that we see with the other Super Saiyan model kits, but it does have a hint of green to it, which is distinct to Broly. Speaking of colors, the gold that they use for his gauntlets, his ankle guards here, just turned out really nice. I think I will end up painting this guy overall, but I think the gold plastic that they used just feels just looks really pearly, really shiny just on its own, and I think I will leave those parts unpainted as is. And as you can see here, the jewels that do decorate Broly's costume are a clear blue plastic, which has a nice contrast to the solid gold. It does look really, really cool, but I do think I'll end up painting those as well. And I just love how they sculpted the upper body as well, the over-exaggerated shoulders, the broad chest, all the muscle groups you see here on the back, just how they gave the figure as much movement as possible, using really intuitive engineering for the articulation. I think it's just fantastic, just really well sculpted and overall really well articulated as well, which I will show you later on. The robes are nicely done as well, all the folds and creases, as you can see here. It does look like they are draping over his legs, and they are made up of, I guess, 4 plastic shells, and they are connected with ball joints and hinges. But I do think that the figure would have benefited from, maybe using softer plastic for these robes, for the sashes here, maybe even rubber. It probably would have made it a little harder to paint. Cost-wise, it might have been a bit more expensive, but I do think it would have looked and felt a lot better than having what essentially is just, shells draping over his legs. And obviously, being a model kit, it's not going to have any paint applications, but in saying that, it really doesn't feel like it's lacking any detail, lacking any paint apps at all, maybe except for the earrings here, which are molded in that skin tone plastic, but it is an easy fix. All you really do need is some gold paint, or you can use the stickers that are provided with this figure. But even without any paint apps, it does feel like a complete figure. Head articulation, we do get side to side, up and down, and we do get some tilt left and right as well. Shoulders on Broly are great. I love how they engineered the butterfly joints. He does have butterfly joints, and they do move with his back muscles, as you can see here. So when you do have his shoulders moving in, his back muscles do move as well, which is pretty cool. The shoulders do move about 90 degrees, and it does have a nice bit of engineering there, as you can see. He does have bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, but because of his biceps, you only get 90 degrees there. You have swivel at the wrist. It is on a ball joint and not a hinge, unfortunately, but you do get some in and out movement as well. The upper torso is connected via a ball joint, so you do get some side to side rotation. You do get an ab crunch. Can bend him back, and you do get some tilt as well. The lower torso joint here is connected via a large peg going straight through, but you're not going to get too much articulation because of this piece here, which does hinder the articulation. As I mentioned, the lower sash pieces, one at the back, one at the front, and 2 on the side, they are on ball and swivel joints, so they don't get in the way of any movement, any leg movement. You can move them, out of the way, and have Broly kick forward this much. You can have him kicking back this much. He does do the splits quite far, like that. He does have a bit of upper thigh swivel here. It's not anything significant, but it is there. He does have a single jointed knee, and it does go further than 90 degrees, which is great. You get a swivel here, of course, at the foot, it does go back and it does go forward, and he does have a slight ankle pivot there. Accessory wise, we don't get too much, as I guess most of the budget was used on the actual figure, but we do get 2 interchangeable sets of hands, which I guess is pretty much all you need. 2 fisted hands and 2 open palm hands. I do wish they were on hinges though, but you know, what are you gonna do? You also get 2 interchangeable faces, the smirking face and the shouting face, which both look fantastic in my opinion. Just look really maniacal, really evil. In addition to this, we also get the extra damaged I got beaten up to a pulp faces for Goku and Vegeta, which I do not have, but it really is nice that they included it. I'm all for more accessories, and even if we get them later down the track, it just goes to show that they are thinking about each figure, not just individually but as a whole line. Unfortunately, no effect pieces this time, which is another one of my small gripes, but it would have been nice for them to include, you know, those green energy balls that Broly is known for. Now, I think it's hard to fault a figure, especially when its price point is about 1/4 of what the Figure Arts version is going for now. And yes, I do know technically this is a model kit, so you do have to put it together. There is much less plastic, no paint apps, and less accessories, but for about $35 before shipping, depending on where you buy it, you do have to admit is a pretty damn good deal for a comparable filler. Call it what you will, I am still really impressed by what this kit offers. Will it replace your Figure Arts? Probably not. Is it a good stand-in for those who missed out on the Figure Arts version? Absolutely. So with that being said, I can't recommend this kit enough, guys. I do enjoy building model kits, so I admit for that aspect I might be a little bit biased, but the overall outcome, the badass figure you get out of that 1 hour of build, is just really satisfying and makes for a definite eye catcher on your shelf. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Please give us a thumbs up if you did. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I do intend to do a comparison with the Figure Arts as soon as I find one for a good deal. As always, thank you so much for watching. You guys are awesome. If you are new to the channel, thanks for dropping by, and please feel free to subscribe. And I will see you for the next one. Take it easy, guys. Bye.